Sukui Gardner Vodne. Welcome back to my channel. And as promised, we are going to be breaking down the Tactalorian armor, get a little in-depth into what the individual components are and where they came from. And if you're interested, maybe you could make your own. All right, let's start this Tactalorian armor breakdown properly. The armor of the Tactalorian is a combination of two main armor sets: the Gauntlets armor, as well as components from the ActionUnion Airsoft tactical armor. I will include links to the armor sets below. The armor components are mashed together and held on a standard plate carrier, which I've put just flexible foam inside the plate component, but I could just as easily take it out and put a sappy plate or ballistics plate. To break down even further, the chest and shoulder components for the torso are the Gauntlets pieces, and only the lower abdominal portion, as well as the attachments up here at the shoulder, come from the ActionUnion Airsoft armor. Originally with the Gauntlets, the shoulders had little slip catches in here, not clips. So I replaced those standard catches with these plastic clips, which just made it easier for these to remove. I also attached the clips here at the shoulder so I can so it becomes a little bit more modularized, and I can remove the shoulders, make this torso section a lot lighter, a little bit more versatile, takes a little bit of pressure off my back. The chest rig for the Gauntlets is backed by a combination of EVA foam and some aluminum sheet metal, which makes it very light, and it will slip in to just about any sort of molly vest that you have. The lower abdominal portion is just attached to a bit of foam covered in fabric, and it's just velcroed to the bottom of this vest, so I can actually remove that as well, just to further lighten the load. Moving on to the next main part of this armor, the helmet, the BC, as the Mandos like to call it. This, of course, is the Gauntlets helmet. It's the sturdier helmet. It's the sturdiest helmet I've ever seen. I've dropped this thing, thrown it on the ground, and it just keeps on ticking. The visor is very thick, polarized plastic, and if you've seen the armor test video, it'll take a few good hits, several good hits. The helmet over here on the ears, AT Airsoft tactical headset. I got these at a bargain bin place. The cables had already been cut and ripped out, so all I really needed was the earmuffs portion anyways, and they attached to this helmet perfectly. I didn't even need to get extra components for it to latch in there. The helmet, on that note, the helmet does come with these rail systems, so I can attach multiple things to the side of this thing, to the side of the helmet. Moving on to the front here, this nod mount was a spare I came across while I was still in the military, and it works just fine. It latches onto the front of this helmet beautifully, and it doesn't go, it does not budge. The front nod mount on this helmet is very sturdy and secure. The nods I attached to it, these are the Sightmark Ghost Hunter 2x24 night vision binoculars. They're not as high res as other night visions and a a high-vis environment, but in low light, these things work absolutely amazing. I don't get that ugly green tint from my military issue night vision goggles. This comes out as almost like a milky blue. It's very clear, and I can see just perfect on this thing. It even comes with an IR light attachment, and this is an excellent addition to my emergency kit, but it also looks amazing with the Tactalorian armor. In addition to the nod mount and the earmuffs attachment, another alteration I made to the interior of the helmet are these two fans, which are just cheap computer fans attached to a D-cell battery. Let's see right there. And this helmet wears very comfortably, even with all that bulk inside of it. These fans work amazingly in cycling the air inside the helmet, so it's not nearly as hot as it could be. It keeps the visor from fogging up beautifully. The padding, this is the standard padding that comes with the helmet, and it is very comfortable. I've only had to wash it maybe twice since wearing this helmet, and that's because I live down here in Louisiana where it's very humid and I sweat constantly when I'm outside or doing an event. The strap and everything, again, comes standard with the helmet. It's very durable, very comfortable. All right, the gauntlets or bracers, whatever you want to call them. These things are coming from the Gauntlets armor, of course. As you can see, the notable difference, these things are definitely very heavy duty. They come with a lot of extra straps, so you can adjust it to larger arms. You can see I kind of got very thin, almost sickly arms. But these are the slip clips I told you about earlier that came with the shoulders. I didn't want to take these off here because I like the ability to adjust these on the fly. All I have to do is just pull these really tight and they latch perfectly. It has an extra little bit here on the side that you can take out if you want to. I haven't felt the need because on top of clothing, it just adds that little bit of give that allows me to slip it on and off. The gloves here are UK Arms half finger CQB Airsoft or paintball gloves. I only ever found one set of these online. And I haven't been able to find them anywhere else outside of UK Arms. If there are other locations, by all means, correct me on that. These are very light, flexible. They work very well in just creating more of a sci-fi aspect to this armor, while also being very comfortable. If I have one complaint about these gloves, is that the strap here, after you tie it on, it tends to slip off and starts rubbing at your exposed wrist. So that's my only complaint, but it's a very minor complaint considering how comfortable these things are. And they can take a good deal of punishment. I mean, I've shot multiple videos wearing these. I've done multiple events with these gloves, and they just keep on going. The only thing I have to say is I think the color has kind of lightened a little bit from the sun. It's kind of hard to tell. But like I said, they are an amazing addition to any sort of airsoft or paintball kit, and they just look fantastic. And of course, moving down the torso, we have the groin protector, the codpiece, whatever you want to call it. This portion of the armor, including the belt, the tactical web gear belt, molly belt, whatever you want to call it, comes standard with the ActionUnion Airsoft tactical armor. I was really impressed by the setup of that ActionUnion armor. It came with so many components that were modularized that I didn't have to do too much in order to add it to the Tactalorian, to the Gauntlets armor. It was an amazing purchase and very lightweight. Like I said, just like the rest of the armor, it's very, well, this part's actually pretty rigid, so thank goodness for that. You got to protect the family jewels on it. But it's very durable, has some flex and give, and it's just bolted on to this canvas backing, so I can actually take it on and take it off at will to clean it, get behind it, whatever. Like I said, the belt itself is a tactical war belt. I can molly in just about whatever I can think of, extra pouches or what have you. It also comes with these clips down here on the sides. Haven't figured out how to use for them, but they're there and whenever I need them. Moving on, so on the side here, I've adjusted this belt since my last video posting. I have added 6 M4, or I should say AR-15 magazine holsters on this side, and these are hard plastic. They have rubber bands, so these actually expand a little bit and then constrict back down so the magazines don't come out. These are much better for PMags than just the old metal 30 round magazines. So if you get these for whatever personal use, keep in mind the older mags will slip out of these, but the PMags will get in there, lock in, and it takes a little bit of effort on your part to get the back out. Not too much, but it's great. It works just fine. Moving back over here on the other hip, of course, my medical pouch. Now this is an old web gear kit. Some of the older vets in the audience will recognize these. I found this at a surplus store, JR's surplus, Army or military surplus store just outside of Fort Polk, Louisiana. In fact, I get a lot of my surplus from there. Great store if you are in the Fort Polk area. I definitely recommend going there. They have a lot of stuff. The little medical patch, I got that from my cousin, and it just looked too good not to put on there. And in here, of course, I do actually have medical gear, because you need medical gear while you're in the field. Of course, tourniquet, gotta cinch that wound. Bandages, more bandages, bigger bandages. Can't go wrong with having plenty of bandages on person. Well, and that is the belt rig in a nutshell. Like I said, heavily modifiable, very modifiable. I can add other pouches to it or take some of these things away. You know, imagination is the limit. If you've ever put together a combat belt before, I'd like to hear some of your suggestions on what I could add or take away from this belt. From right now, this is just more for my own experimentation and edification, you know. Moving on to the holsters, the thigh holsters, the drop holsters, whatever you want to call them. I got this one at Star Pawn, just outside of Fort Polk, Louisiana. It was a steal. This thing was just sitting on the shelf collecting dust, and I got a good deal on it. It didn't come with these two. I added them later from my own collection. And it looks great, of course, with any sort of tactical gear. I believe this is a Fuos thigh holster. It's an Airsoft brand. I haven't been able to find it anywhere else. That's the only brand I could find that was close enough to this look. But again, it looks great with the Tactalorian armor, so yeah, I had to add it. This holster I got at JR's, again, JR's military surplus outside Fort Polk. And from what I can tell, I'm not exactly sure if this is a pistol holster or a taser holster. I've never seen this anywhere or used one myself. It just had a very interesting look about it, and I could adjust it from being a left-handed to right-handed, or in this case from right to left, in order to kind of hold the offhand blaster for the Tactalorian. Yeah, I got nothing much to really say about that. Again, got it at a surplus store for pennies on the dollar, and it just looked great with the rest of the Tactalorian gear. And of course, now we come to the Shin Guards. These are small. These are actually the gauntlets or bracers to the ActionUnion Airsoft tactical armor, but since I had the Gauntlets bracers, I didn't really see a use for these. I was about to use them in a different project, but on a whim, I strapped them to my shins and they fit perfectly. I had to adjust the straps just a little bit, but it came with such long straps to begin with, I didn't really have to do much, but just lengthened it out and just clip it onto my shins, and they fit perfectly. They're just a little bit on the snug side, so they don't slip, they don't fall down, they don't rotate in place, and they're hard plastic, and they work perfectly in an airsoft or paintball environment. Speaking of, if you haven't seen the armor test with the Nerf rival, please, by all means, go check that out. It was a very, very fun experience getting shot at by my wife. and she and my youngest really enjoyed themselves. And now we come to the soft bits of the armor. To run through it really quick, you may have recognized this as the netting that I had around my shoulders in previous videos. This is very simple fabric netting. We use it in the military all the time to break up our silhouette, cover our positions, cover our equipment. This was when I initially got it, it was a straight flat tan. I just used camouflage paint to break it up, add some different colors to it to make it a little bit more camouflage, and I think it turned out great. Another purchase from JR's Military Surplus. It was a wonderful find, and I thoroughly enjoyed using it out in the field. Now we get to the uniform. This is Tiger Stripe, as most of my vets in the audience will probably recognize, as a sort of Vietnam era camouflage pattern, and a pattern I really wish our military had adopted. I think it breaks up our silhouette a lot better than a standard BDU, and way better than that crappy digital ACU pattern we got when I first enlisted. And like I said, it's very lightweight. This was very starchy when I first bought it, and it's a little bit of fabric softer, and now it feels just great. I can roll the sleeves comfortably, especially in this hot weather. And now we come to the last bit, the footwear. Any cosplay, any Mandalorian armor or whatever, footwear is something you never want to skimp on in terms of comfort, because you're going to be walking around, skulking through the woods. You need comfortable boots or shoes. These are Interceptor work boots. I got them at Walmart at a really good price, mind you. They're very comfortable. They have a lot of stability in the ankle. Right here, as you may have noticed, these are Fury Tactical Kuba Kick self-defense control devices. They're just little plastics. Now mine are just sitting underneath the laces, but they do have holes in them in order to run the laces through, so they're very stable and secure, which in terms of, they are very durable. They're hard plastic, and they will do some serious damage. Maybe I'll do a test video for this and different components of the armor later on, but for right now, look, but don't touch. These are steel-toed as well, because you can't exactly go into a combat situation with soft shoes. That'd be stupid. Thank you all so much for joining me for this armor breakdown. I really appreciate you taking the time to hear me brag about this project. It's been a long time assembling all these components and making sure they fit together, and finally I actually get to share that this project with you. I would also like to say this video is not sponsored by any of the brands I mentioned. I am bragging on them just because I want to. They make good products and they deserve the recognition, especially Gauntlets. This armor system is absolutely amazing. If you guys get a chance, please go visit his site and look at his products. This is an amazing craft we need to support. Armor making is a dying art, even if it's modern armor. I doubt the military will ever adopt something like this, but you know what? If enough people wear them, they just might. Like I said, this was very fun. Really glad I got to share this experience with you. And I hope to see you guys at the next videos. We break down other armor that I have, other projects I've been working on, and who knows? Maybe I'll show you how to make your own. You never know. So, on that note, return to me and stay tactical.